Could the US lose a war with Iran? What if the United States fought a war with Iran and actually lost? It sounds shocking, right? The US has the world's most powerful military. But some analysts believe a war with Iran could change the entire global order. Today we break down the argument simply. Okay, this is a bold prediction. Back in 2024, a geopolitical analyst made three major predictions. I think his name is Professor Yang or something. Donald Trump will win the election. The United States will go to war with Iran. And most controversially, the United States will lose the war. The first prediction already happened. The second has partially unfolded with rising tensions and military actions. But the third prediction raises a serious question. How could a superpower lose to Iran? Iran's long preparation. Iran has been preparing for conflict with the United States for decades. Instead of relying only on traditional military power, Iran built a network of allies and proxies across the Middle East, including groups in Lebanon, Yemen, Iraq, Gaza. These groups allow Iran to fight indirectly across the region. Rather than one big battlefield, the conflict could stretch across multiple countries at once. This kind of strategy is called asymmetric warfare, targeting the global economy. Another key idea is that Iran may not just fight the US military directly. Instead, it could target the global economic system that supports American power. For example, the Gulf countries like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar play a major role in the world economy because they produce large amounts of oil. These countries also invest huge amounts of money into global markets and technology companies. If energy infrastructure or shipping routes in the Gulf were disrupted, it could affect oil prices, global trade, international markets. In other words, the conflict wouldn't just be military, it could become economic. The cost problem in modern warfare. Another issue analysts point out is the cost imbalance in modern warfare. For example, a drone might cost $50,000. A missile interceptor used to stop it might cost millions of dollars. If cheaper weapons are used in large numbers, they can overwhelm expensive defense systems. This creates a major challenge for technologically advanced militaries. A changing world order. Some experts believe conflicts like this could signal a bigger shift. For decades after the Cold War, the United States was the dominant global superpower. But today, the world may be moving toward a multipolar system where several major powers like the US, China, and others share influence. If a major conflict weakens US power economically or militarily, it could accelerate the transition. The risk of ground war. One of the biggest fears in any conflict with Iran is a ground invasion. Airstrikes alone rarely change governments. History shows that removing regimes usually requires troops on the ground, which can lead to long and costly wars. This is why many analysts warn that a war with Iran could become far more complicated than expected. These are my final thoughts and takeaway. A war between the United States and Iran will not look like wars of the past. It could involve regional proxy battles, economic disruption, cyber warfare, and long-term geopolitical consequences. Whether these predictions come true or not, one thing is clear. Modern conflicts are no longer just about armies and tanks. They're about economics, technology, alliances, and global influence. And understanding these dynamics helps us better understand the world we live in. If you enjoy this video, subscribe to Explain Simply for more breakdowns of geopolitics, economics, and global events. Because sometimes the world's biggest stories just need to be explained simply. Take it easy, guys. I'll see you in the next video.